Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome everyone to the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. And let us first in the beginning remember today is April 24th. So this is happened to be today is Thursday. This is the day Swami took the Mahasamadhi. He went from the form to formless. Now he is still with us as eternal companion. I always say he was with us, he is with us now, and he will be with us forever. So that is why we call him eternal companion. So always he is with us. But it is good time. This is the time we need remember how much love and blessings and grace he showered on all of the humanity. And interesting, he chose the Holy Easter Sunday to leave the physical form. Everything God plans for a reason, because Jesus, Swami, they are all symbolic of love and sacrifice they gave up. I heard even Pope Francis just left on Easter Monday. Because these are all, they call that Holy Week, starting from Palm Sunday, and then Maundy Thursday, and then Good Friday, and this Easter Sunday. So this is considered very holy. Like we have Dasara special and Shiva similar to them. So that is very special. So we are going to share about Swami's glory and thing. Krishna will be doing that at after the study circle around 8. So, and another thing is we meet regularly. I want to emphasize, sometimes we don't, sometimes we need to recollect. Number one, this is satsang, right? We all love Swami, God. We love God, we want to serve. Being in the company of good people, satsang, itself is a first step towards Jivan Mukti. Satsang, like Adi Shankara said, Satsangatve Nisangatvam. Nisangatve Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam. Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. So the first step is to have the holy company. Then you go next day. That is how Narada, he was a son of a maid servant who attained it. And Shabari, she was a tribal woman who didn't know much knowledge. She was not a scholarly woman, didn't know Vedas, but being in the company of those rishis, Matanga, she became so noble. Just with one darshan of Rama, he was enlightened. So the most important thing is take this thing as Swami's grace to be able to come for a satsang. Don't take it as a ordinary. That is only Swami called us. Make best use of it. And second thing is Gita also, when we are studying, we are all, Swami says, if your Gita is good, then only you will read Gita. So you have got good destiny, good karma, then only, otherwise you avoid that. So here, if all of you read when you go home, chapter 18, starting sloka 66 onwards, he says, this is a yajna we are doing. So people do yajna, oh, big Rudra yajna, Tirudra yajna, Chandi yajna, that homa. They said, this is what we are doing. What yajna are we doing? This is jnana yajna. This is highest. This is, he says, people who talk and who listen, you're all participating in the yajna. So we are all blessed to be part of this jnana yajna. Because there are many yajnas, Dravya yajna, Bhota yajna, Pitru yajna, so, and Rishi yajna, Deva yajna. So, but this is jnana yajna is really a great. So be part of the jnana yajna where we read about Gita and listen. Actually go to 71 sloka in the 18th chapter. People who listen to this Gita, because wherever you are, YouTube, anywhere, they said, your sins will be gone and you will attain the land of Punyatmas. That means highest thing. So it's such a great blessing. So we should, with that kind of, we should, whenever you hear or do anything, do with Shraddha, with that faith. Hey, what a blessing to be able to hear God's word. This is direct words of God. It's not from a rishi like people. Ashtavakra Gita is there, Avadhuta Gita is there. So many Gitas, yeah. But this Gita is given by Bhagavad Gita, Lord Himself, Lord Krishna Himself has directly said, Bhagwan Swayam, He has given. So all of you just read, and there are many people who give beautiful commentary, and we are like his Swami himself has given commentary on this as a Vahini, but he gave many discourses also, Gita discourses on Gita, Bhagavad Gita, and many occasions. Swami gave so much importance to Bhagavad Gita. So that is why I want you to, whenever we do, now and then we have to think about how important it is, blessed we are, because Swami gave us this opportunity to share this. So anyway, now coming back to the Gita Vahini, we are in chapter 14, and we have a soft copy. It is page 64. And if it is a hard copy, it is page 129. So for the sake of continuity, who is studying, reading today? Yeah, Devi? Devi is ready, yeah, good. So last week, you were here last week, right, Devi? Yeah. So last week, this is important because in the chapter, Swami is going chapter by chapter. Before we had chapter 7, that is Vijnana Yoga, he talked. At the end, he says, if you want to be merged with me, you want to become, that means we all want to be Sayuja, we want to be one with God. He says, you should know this Adhibhautika, Adhyatmika, Karma, Brahman, and Adhyajna, and how to leave the body. So he says that. So Arjuna, being a good student, he wants his good spiritual seeker. He has no, like all of you, all of us, don't have passive listening. You listen 1 year, it goes other year. So what are we talking about? If you have any, don't understand, we should have a discussion. This is not a lecture class. This is, we need to talk to each other. Hey, I didn't understand. What is that meaning of it? We should be free to discuss. That is how it goes into our hearts. So he asked the question. He put 7 questions. So you said this, explain to me, what is Brahman? Then he says, you said Adhyatmika. What is Adhyatmika? And then he says, you karma. You say, what is karma? Then you said Adhibhautika. What is Adhibhautika? Then he says, you said Adhidhaivika. What is Adhidhaivika? Then he says, 6 is Adhiyajna. What is Adhiyajna? Final question, the most important, 7th question is, how to leave the body, right? We all have to leave the body. Anybody here who won't leave the body? We all leave the body, right? So how to leave the body? That is a very important question. How should we leave the body? And that is why Lord Krishna gives so much importance. He talks about that from Shloka in Akshara Parabrahma Yoga. This is chapter 8. All of you study it, then you can understand. From Shloka 5, he talks how should we leave the body. We live, so the purpose, Swami says, why are we born? So that we are not born again. That is the whole purpose is. Not otherwise we'll go on repeating the cycle of births and death. There is no good. This is what he said, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, going on. We should lead the life such a way that we are not born again. So he gives the secret. So be careful. We can't cover that secret right away. First we have to talk about death, and then in the coming few weeks we'll talk about secret how to die. but nobody wants to die, but it is in fact the phase and how to die so that we won't be born again. We have to be liberated. So here, Brahman, we discussed last week, right? Who is Brahman? Brahman is the eternal principle, which is beyond name, beyond form, beyond time, beyond space, beyond causation. Because everything in the seen world, in the sciences also, everything is below these senses, everything what we perceive. But this Brahman is beyond this description. That is why Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. Is something beyond the comprehension of the mind and the expression in words. That means you cannot express in words, you can't comprehend. This is something to be experienced. So that is why all these great sages, saints, they said they were so blissful, but they said they cannot express in words or comprehend by the mind. So that is Brahman. So the beautiful example then, what is then this Adhyatmika? So this Brahman, so the Swami says, I separated myself from myself so that I love myself, right? So this Brahman got bored being alone. He has no company. So he wanted Ekoham Bahusyam. I am one, there's only one. So I become many. So then he multiplied. Then he became Adhyatmika. We are all the Jivatma, that is Parabrahman, Paramatma. Then Adhyatmika means the Jivatma. Then how did it come about? Through karma. What is karma? All of you know. There are many types of karma, right? Sanchita karma, Agami karma, Prarabdha karma. But karma is something, action which is responsible to what happened. The reason we are all born is because of our karma. Janma. Janma is because of karma. If you don't have any residuals of karma, we won't be born again. So that is why everything you say, that is why Lord Krishna says in Gita, Yajnartho karmana anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Whatever work you do, it will bind you. Even good karma, good service, bhajans, study circle. Yajnartha, that means you should do selflessly without craving for the results, for the highest, then it won't be bound. You won't be bound. Otherwise, you will be bound. Good karma, bad karma, good, good, bad, bad. So this karma is the one which is responsible for our birth and also continuation. That's why, but what in the beginning stages we can do is do good karma. That is what comes with us from life to life. But we don't want to be born again, then you have to do karma such a way, nishkama karma, then you won't be born. But even if you do a good karma, it's better, at least you'll have a better life. So because whatever you sow, you reap. So this is what is karma. But in the higher sense, the karma is for individual level this happens. But how did the universe come? That is because of the power of God. That is its karma. There are 5 activities. Even Lalit Sahasranam it is said, she is Panchakritya Parayana. 5 actions. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, and Anugraha and Tirodhana. That means the whole world you see is creation, sustenance, dissolution, and then grace of the Lord and withdrawal. This is what it is. So in the ultimate sense, the divinity and its power projects all this. Because I want you to read all these very complicated ideas, but it is very important for us to understand. It is clearly explained by Lord Krishna. And then comes Adhibhautika. So 3 questions we answered, right? Brahman, Adhyatmika, and karma. We didn't still there. Next comes Adhibhautika. So we'll have a quiz later on, so who can do good. Adhibhautika is something, Bhautika, which says Panchabhutas. What are the 5 elements? Right? What are the 5 elements? Earth, water, fire, air, and space. So these 5 elements called Panchabhutas, these are Adhibhautika, but they are not eternal like Brahman. Brahman is something which doesn't change, but these elements change. And we are all made up of Panchabhutas. So that is Adhibhautika. Then next is Adidaivika. Adidaivika means the whole creation, that is Hiranyagarbha, Virat Purusha. He is called Purusha. Purusha is literally translated as person, human being, a man. But that is not, Purusha is the cosmic person. That is why there is a beautiful suktam called Purusha Sukta. Whole universe comes from that Purusha. Actually, they say, Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Amrutan Divi. In that case, all the universes we see, Pada is only 1/4 of that cosmic person, Purusha. Pada, Pada, 3/4 of it is unmanifest. So all the earth we see, sun, moon, stars, galaxies, planets, universes, many, all this is only 1/4 of that cosmic person. 3/4 are unmanifest. That is Purusha. That is what is Hiranyagarbha is also called cosmic consciousness. Then Adi Yajna. This Adi Yajna is the residing divine principle in us. You know, some people are getting tired, listen to they may get tired, and so just if it is don't understand, ask Adi Yajna. So these are the 6 questions. The final 7th one we will talk later. That is how to leave the body. And Lord Krishna spends more time on that because that's the most important. First he explains this terminology, then he will talk about how to leave the body. Because that is the whole thing is, what we talked about it. Whatever you think in your last moments of life, that you will be born next life. For the example, Jadabharata, what did he think about? Deer. He was a king, he gave up everything. At the last, before he died, he think about his pet deer. So he was born as a deer next life. So if you think like you are fighting, you are hating each other, in Siddhi Satcharita, so that both were born, one as a cobra, snake, another was born as a frog. So whatever you are, and the other greatest story is that of Ratnamala. Did anybody Ratnamala? She is the daughter of Bali. So Bali Chakravarti, when he was doing the yajna, Vamana, the Lord Vishnu comes. He's so beautiful, so cute. He looks very young boy. So as soon as he saw him, oh my God, I wish he was my child. He's so beautiful. I wish I can fondle him, I can feed him. She gets that beautiful, wonderful, divine thoughts. And then when she saws her Vamana is pushing her father Bali to the netherland, put his foot on his top, he gets so mad. My God, this guy I wish I can kill him. That thought she comes. This thought, one time she wanted to be like mother, want to feed, and then next so mad that her father is being killed. Then what is the consequences of that? Next slide, he was born as Putana. So he had the opportunity to feed because he was like a mother, but poison milk. Then she was also have the vengeance where she want to kill Lord Krishna. So she has both. So she motherly affection as well as the vengeance. So that is why very important last minute what you think. So the whole life, that is why we think, yeah, last minute we can say Narayana, Krishna, Sai, it doesn't work out throughout. We need to be prepared. So those are the important, but we are going to talk a lot more on that, Lord Krishna said. So now you are going to, because I don't have, yeah, go ahead. We have 7 to 10 minutes. We're on page 129. Let us dwell on this matter a little about Brahman.
Let us dwell on this matter a little. The Shastras describe Brahman as Sat-Chit-Ananda. This is a way of denoting it in Vedantic vocabulary. It is also described as Ashti, Bhati,
Asti.
No,
Asti Bhati Priyam. Asti Bhati Priyam.
Asti Bhati Priyam. Are both the same, or do they mean differently? Sat means that which persists in the past, present, and future. The same meaning is conveyed by the word asti. Chit means that which is conscious of everything. The same meaning is conveyed by the word bhati. Bhati. Ananda means unending source of joy. Priyam also means the same. These three are found in every human being. Why in every beast and bird? Take the first of these, Sat, and this will become clearer. The body is subject to destruction sooner or later. Everyone is aware of this. No one is ignorant of this elementary fact. Nevertheless, everyone is apprehensive of death. No one welcomes death or is eager to meet it. Death is inevitable. You have to meet it, even though you do not welcome it or try to avoid it. All that is born has to die someday. Still, no one likes to die. What is the key to this paradox? Note this. What is it that does not welcome death? What is it that meets with death? What is it that leaves and what is it that remains? The answer? It is the body that dies. It is the body that falls. What does not die is the Atma. Only you delude yourselves into thinking that it is the Atma or you that dies. The Atma has nothing to do with death or birth. The body experiences death. The Atma, which is Nitya, Sathya, and Nirmala, eternal, true, and pure, does not die. You are the Atma that does not like to die. That is to say, you are Sat. Your nature is Sat. The Atma is the child of immortality, not the Deha or the body. The Atma is the Sat, not the body.
Yeah, you can you stop there. Yeah.
I stop here?
Yeah, the next paragraph
Next stop.
it was Sat. It ends with Sat.
You are the Sat, the Atma, the entity that has no death. It is this Atma that is in every casement, and so every being feels the force of that Sat in the form of eternal, unchanging existence. This is clear and unmistakable. Up here?
Yeah.
You know, it's how Uncle just mentioned nothing happens, there's no coincidence. We're reading about this paragraph today about death on Aradhana Day. So I just found that how we ended up landing on this topic today. And Krishna's basically he's telling us, we all know that we're going to die, but we don't accept that. We think it is ourselves. He's telling us it's just the body, it's a piece of cloth. We're just changing our clothes. But the Atma is something, it cannot be touched. In the Gita, it said, right? The wind, fire, water, nothing can touch the Atma. So, and then I'll let it be at that. But what Uncle said also, the last thought of your death is so important. How sacred it is to be born, to have a good and holy death is also equally important. But the practice comes so much beforehand. You cannot expect to be chanting God's name suddenly. So it takes years and years and years of practice, which is, I think, what we are doing right now. We are all preparing to, we're living the good life so that when we leave this body, we have God's name and no other thoughts on our mind.
Yeah, because as we talked about, there are three things. People use this word sometimes, asti bhati priyam. Sometimes they use Sat-Chit-Ananda. People think, oh, that is different. That's why we should have clarity of terminology. Sat-Chit-Ananda or asti bhati priyam is the same. And also in English, you call knowledge, existence, and bliss. So whenever it is any of these terminologies used, asti bhati priyam, Sat-Chit-Ananda, knowledge, existence, and bliss, we know you are referring to the same thing. Like same thing, Brahman, you're talking about Atman, this Parabrahma or Parama, they are all same. So we should have that clear concept. Whenever somebody mentions these words, it is talking about the same reality. But the death, because why we are afraid of death is because of wrong identification. Still we think we are this body, we are this mind and intellect. So it's over so many lifetimes we thought that. It is not overnight, it is easy to get rid of that consciousness. It needs constant sadhana, constant practice. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect. So when you have that, everybody has fear, as I told before, fear of, this young boy, he doesn't understand, fear of old age, you have fear of losing youth. So I'm not anymore young, getting gray hair, or you losing eyesight, you have cataract removal, dentures, you will have artificial knees, artificial hips, everything. So fear of old age and fear of sickness. Oh, I will lose the health, I am going to be sick. And fear of losing money, health, you have suddenly become a wrong investment, you will become poor. And fear of losing name and fame, fear of losing power, everything is fear of losing beauty for beautiful people. And people who are scholars, fear of losing this scholarship. So everything is fear, fear, fear. But the most fearful thing is fear of losing life, death. But when you are not identified, these people, they're not scared. The people, one guy, I am Shivoham, Shivoham, Ramatirtha, Swami Ramatirtha said, he saw somebody, a yogi, there is a lion, he jumped into him, and he was in the mouth of giant. There also he said, Shivoham, Shivoham, because he is so established that is Shiva, nothing bothers. He sees even the lion as the embodiment of Shiva. They are established. And same thing, Bhagavan Ramana, he had a big cancer, they had to have operation on that, and they wanted to give anesthesia. He says, tell me when you want to give, I will take away my mind from the body, because he knows. And they did without anesthesia. He didn't feel pain. So you can have that. And same thing, our Swami, because I was eyewitness to that. So when Swami was in the hospital, he went through his body. He, not him, I shouldn't say he, went through so many problems. He had heart thing, liver, kidney, and all those things. But so much pain I can see as a doctor, we can relate. It was very painful. And one of the doctors said, the Swami, you are in pain, we want to give any medicine. No, I am not in pain, I am in bliss. No human being can tell that. That means he knows he is not in that body consciousness. So by constant practice, you can transcend that body consciousness. It doesn't happen easily. So you are so God intoxicated. Think about God, automatically we forget. Even I remember when we are Swami in the interview room, he was talking to us. That time stands still. We don't know who we are, because that time we forgot ourselves, who we are with him. So similarly, all the time we are like that. We have no more fear of death. That is very important. Constant atmic consciousness we should have. I think time is up. Then probably will continue. Krishna will share. But important to always. Another thing is, I told before, the Hanuman. What are the two things? Rama kaja karive ko atur, Prabhu charitra sunive ko rasiya. He's always anxious to do God's work. What can I do in the divine mission? How can I contribute to the good work? Always you should have that longing to do. And Prabhu charitra sunive ko rasiya. Always interested to listen to the divine stories, Bhagavatam. That is Bhagavatam is divine stories. That is why Lord Krishna says in Gita, Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantah parasparam adhayantascha mam nityam tushyanticha ramanticha. Then my devotees, what do? They keep their heart and soul in me. They go on talking about my stories. That is how they're always in bliss. Nityam tushyanticha ramanticha. They're content and always in bliss. They don't need any external pleasures. So now we'll hear Swami's stories and we'll enjoy. Sai Ram.